doesn't it?
Red alert!
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I'm Tom Kent King. And this is 4K's Skywatcher. We have a great show tonight. This is episode 40 of the 4K Skywatching Podcast. It's October 17, 2025. Tonight's show is going to be a fun one. This is one of the reasons why I even started this podcast to begin with, is to find other people like myself out there that are doing pretty much the same thing that I'm doing, same thing that a lot of you people are doing. And this person is really old school. He's in the back. We're going to bring him up here in a second. I have all kinds of stuff running at. Coming up tonight, we have quite a bit of video. There's really nothing huge going on in ufology right now. It's pretty much dead, but there's stuff always happening here. We make stuff happen. This is not an armchair research channel at all. This is a channel made by Skywatchers for Skywatchers, and people like you want to be on the show. You can be on the show just like we have tonight. There is some big news, though, that the Age of Disclosure documentary does have a date. It's coming out next month on Amazon. So this is going to be the big talk of the town. So it's going to be pretty quiet until that event happens. There's a lot of people that got into ufology around 2017 or so when the New York Times article came out. And then the Tic Tac video, the Go Fast, and the Gimbal video came out. That got a lot of people interested. Because of that, a huge wave of people that you never heard of before got into ufology. That was part of the explosion of all these Skywatchers. How's the echo? Is this working good now? Okay, so let me just do a double check here. So we ended up having a lot of Skywatchers because of that. And a lot of them won't admit it. There's a lot of people out there, they claim they've been in this for 10, 20, 30 years, but they're not in books. They never mention on a TV show, George Knapp sure the hell never heard of him, and he's 1,000 years old. He heard of everybody. So you got a lot of fake people, like the dude from Vetted. He probably says he's been around to go out. This guy just got into this to grift, and so there's not much going on. The fools on Twitter are all gonna sue each other into the poorhouse because that's all they do is dox, circle, and harass each other. These people are friends one day, enemies the next. I remember telling Terry Hall the divorce rate in ufology is 90%, which means if you meet 10 people in ufology, a couple of years later, you'll hate 9 of them. And sure happens over on Twitter. They're your friends one day. The next day, they're trying to get your wife fired from her job. So these people are easy to spot. I wouldn't have nothing to do with none of them. They're toxic people. They're haters. They hate each other. And they didn't get in ufology for this, but here's where they are today. Hate people. Anyway, I got a hell of a busy day going on tomorrow. Tomorrow, AZ Motherload and myself are going in a helicopter tomorrow morning, and we're going to do a helicopter trip and bring a whole bunch of cameras with us. And this might be Dan's 11th or 12th helicopter trip. Dan skywatches in a freaking helicopter, right? That's not cheap. That's more money than most television shows that come in and do an investigation. They come in with a few $100. And when Dan flies, money burns. He flew up to Sedona recently and had multiple GPS dropouts along fault lines. So in tomorrow's experiment, one of them will be to see if when we go over these certain faults that Dan knows about, will we lose GPS? And he's also filmed about 30% of the time UFOs flying out of the ground through the mountains. So I'm going to be bringing my cameras with some 4K cameras up in the chopper, and I'm going to see if we get any of that film. So next Saturday we might be reviewing some of tomorrow's chopper trip, and then after I get off the helicopter, I got some stuff to do around Phoenix, and then I'm going to a showing of The Exorcist tomorrow night. Never seen it. One of my favorite movies. It's really funny. So I haven't seen that in the theater. So I'm going to see that in theater, bring a blanket, and just laugh my ass off at that. That's going to be a fun scare. So tonight we have a special guest here. He's been around for a while. Proud to have on the show tonight Mario Vallejo. He's from San Antonio. He's been skywatching for over 20 years, and it's easy to track by going to his YouTube channel. And it goes, one of his oldest posts goes, I think, all the way back to 2006. So that's pretty much when YouTube got started. He was skywatching. He started uploading videos, and he kept going at it year after year after year after year, never quitting, really. He's got a hell of a stamina. Things have happened in his life just like anybody else. You know, we have our ups and downs over time, and sometimes we take a break that we need to mentally just walk away from this, and then it seems to call us back. So he's been back skywatching. He's filmed a variety of objects. I've looked at some of his videos quite a bit. Did some research before I wanted to get him on here so I can know what he has. He has a lot of hockey puck footage. He's got stuff of flying humans, humanoid type people. He's got objects doing weird accelerations. He's got egg-shaped objects that are just doing a dead hover. He's got huge objects filmed at night. And he's also been on the local San Antonio news too. So he's been around, and he's a father. He's a husband, he's a family man, he's a hard worker, he's a goddamn good skywatcher. And when I look at his videos, I don't have any critique. I don't say, well, maybe you should have did this or you should have did that. He does everything with his skywatching that I would have did. So if I hit the record button, I would have filmed everything pretty much the same way. He also uses cameras, uses dual tripods. He uses infrared to find them. He's just a classic skywatcher. We could really use a lot more of people like Mario instead of all these people on Twitter suing each other. So without further ado, welcome to 4K Skywatching Podcast. It's good to have you on here, man.
Tom. Yeah, definitely. Like you said, I'm from San Antonio, Texas. I've been sky watching for a couple of years already. Got into it ever since back in the 2000s when I started noticing unknown objects around this area. My first camera in 205, I believe. That's when I started, documenting the stuff because I knew a lot of people wouldn't, believe me if I just told them. So I wanted to have some kind of evidence, for myself and for others to see what I'll be seeing. Like you said, things have changed in a couple of years, and now the way I look at it, I mean, I think with the disclosures going to be happening, I mean, hopefully, something will happen and they'll let us know that these things are really out there, which someone was already know that they're out there. We've been like, for yourself and myself that have been filming and documenting these unknowns. A lot of this footage that I've taken is back in my backyard. I really don't have to travel so far. Yeah, because
When did you start skywatching?
I started, like I said, back in 204. That's when I really started sky watching. Got my first camera on 205. That's when like I said, I started noticing these objects that were flying around. Uh, and I wanted to document some of this stuff for myself. See if what I was seeing was really what I was seeing in reality. Uh, the footage speaks for itself. Or you get to look at yourself and make your own mind and see what kind of objects we're actually seeing. That's the reason I started filming, because I wanted to document, let everybody know what kind of things are flying over this area.
What was the last time you seen a UAP UFO?
The last time it was back in, I guess, in August of '05. Around this area, actually this has been at night. I
05, you
mentioned it.
mean 2025?
Yeah, of
Okay.
August. Like I said,
So just what, a month ago, like 2 months ago then?
yeah,
Okay,
it's
got it.
been. Like I said, it was at night. I've seen these. I don't know what to call it. These objects just appear out of nowhere. They travel and then disappear. Uh, Constantly, I've been, trying to track that area. Trying to use the camera to document it. I've been using that infrared at night, the night shot. My bad, the night shot at night, and I've been got lucky. These objects appearing out of nowhere, travel and disappear. Some people say that they're satellites, but I know satellites don't do that. Uh, some people say they know that they're sky lanterns, but the way they travel, the way they appear, I mean, it's something we got to look into that. And it's very. I really don't know what to call them in those areas, because I don't want to say it's like a portal or something, because they seem to be just in that area. They come out and then it's like just a certain part of the sky, southwestern part of the sky. Between 9 and 10 o'clock, I see them here, the same area. So I want to look more into that.
All right, let's start with the video here from September 14th, 2011. This was a object at night, and you ended up going to the local San Antonio news, and it was on the news. So let's, I got this queued up. So let's look at the news clip. And then after that, we'll look at your clip of what you shot.
San Antonio's first high-definition newscast. Ken's 5 Eyewitness News at 10 starts now.
UFO over San Antonio caught on tape. Ken's 5 talks exclusively with the man who captured this video. Next.
That object traveling that way. Going east.
And speaking of outer space, you saw first here on video last night at Ken's 5. Now the man who claims he recently spotted a UFO hovering above the Alamo City is speaking out. Here's Phil Anaya with that exclusive interview.
I was pointing that way, and I seen that object traveling that way. It's going east.
Well, according to Mario Vallejo, that object he saw last Wednesday in southeast San Antonio was a UFO.
First of all, no navigational light. That's what got my attention at first. And that's when I started zooming in. I started seeing all those different configuration of the lights, and I'm like, whoa, what's this?
Mario will even be the first to admit he sees aircraft fly by often.
All the time, see aircraft going in and out, helicopters, jets. I see commercial aircraft going around, and none of these seem to be that.
Whatever it was, the video Mario posted on YouTube less than a week ago has gone viral with over 40,000 views and plenty of posts by people on Facebook.
Just over the weekend, it was close to 28,000. I'm like, whoa, that bug was hitting fast, and I just posted it Friday.
While Mario was never looking for public attention, he's glad to get some because he wants to know if others saw what he saw.
I'm hoping somebody else comes forward and comes say that we've seen something that's similar like to that, add more credibility to it. But for right now, that's definitely what I catch that day.
Phil Anaya, Ken's 5 Eyewitness News.
San Antonio's first high-definition newscast.
Well, cool. You went out, you went to the news. A lot of people, even in 2025, are hiding behind screen names. They won't use the real name or the face because they're just cowards. They'll come out eventually when the aliens land, and then they'll say, yeah, I was against the stigma the whole time. You know, it's 2025. It'll drop the, stigma's pretty much gone, and there's still people doing that. So tell us, what did you see that night that not only got you to record it, but then say, hey, I got to talk to the news and hope other people see this?
That was an amazing sighting. Matter of fact, when I first seen it, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. The first, by looking at it, I just looked. When I was watching, I looked up and I seen this, different lights or configuration. When I was looking at it, I was like, whoa, what am I looking at? So that's when it made me grab my camera. Once I started to zoom in, I was surprised to see what I saw. It seemed to be like, I don't know, orbs around this object, moving around it. And then, first thing that came to my mind was it was an aircraft. So I do live right here by the airport, like I mentioned, but when I looked at it, there was no aircraft. There wasn't no.
Going that way. It's going east.
And speaking of outer space, you saw first here on video last night at Ken's 5. Now the man who claims he recently spotted a UFO hovering above the Alamo City is speaking out. Here's Phil Anaya with that exclusive interview.
I was pointing that way, and I seen that object traveling that way. It's going east.
Well, according to Mario Vallejo, that object he saw last Wednesday in southeast San Antonio was a UFO.
First of all, no navigational light. That's what got my attention at first. And that's when I started zooming in. I started seeing all those different configuration of the lights, and I'm like, whoa, what's this?
Mario will even be the first to admit he sees aircraft fly by often.
All the time, see aircraft going in and out, helicopters, jets. I see commercial aircraft going around, and none of these seem to be that.
Whatever it was, the video Mario posted on YouTube less than a week ago has gone viral with over 40,000 views and plenty of posts by people on Facebook.
Just over the weekend, it was close to 28,000. I'm like, whoa, that bug was hitting fast, and I just posted it Friday.
While Mario was never looking for public attention, he's glad to get some because he wants to know if others saw what he saw.
I'm hoping somebody else comes forward and comes say that we've seen something that's similar like to that, add more credibility to it. But for right now, that's definitely what I catch that day.
Phil Anaya, Ken's 5 Eyewitness News.
San Antonio's first high-definition newscast. Ken's 5 Eyewitness News at 10.
And Mario.
Yeah. Was it my end? No, I still in the same link, right? Okay.
Oh, what's that? Look at that.
Okay.
Oh my God, that shit looks
Yeah, no,
crazy.
this object was definitely no aircraft. You could see some of the lights kept changing formations, or they kept, turning on and off. It's like I said earlier, this seemed like these lights were around that light, circling that light, or around that. Definitely was no aircraft. Uh, this thing was very unusual. I never ever in my life seen something like this. I'm glad I recorded this object,
Oh my God.
because I still to this day don't know what it is.
Feel like a motherfucker.
And it was just,
Don't know what this
just
is.
in that right over the hood, right over the San Antonio area.
But still.
I really don't know. I'm just
Oh my
glad I did
God,
capture this
look at
object,
this.
confirmation that this is some
What
hotspot
is
area with all the footage I've been taking.
This is some crazy
And this is
shit.
one of the main ones that is up there
This is
that's
right over
really
San Antonio, Texas. What we got is an
unexplainable to me.
craft with multiple lights on it. Seems to be hovering in one spot.
At times, it look like a triangle shape.
Oh my
I don't know. I mean,
God.
and then again,
I don't want to even move from this direction.
it changes. The lights configuration keeps changing.
That is just hovering.
It seems
Oh
to me
my
like
God.
at first I was thinking maybe it's one of these top secrets around this area, but then again, I don't know. Why am I the only one seeing this around that area?
Check this shit out.
All people had to do was just look up and just see it.
Oh my God.
You can
This
see
is
the light
fucking
goes
crazy.
to another formation. That's what I'm saying. I mean, this was very strange when I saw
God,
it.
look at that.
And this happened
Yeah, I don't see no
way.
airplane there.
Let me zoom in a little bit more, but all I got is this.
The
Multiple
lights keeps changing. Like if they were either around that object or that object was.
Oh my God, look at that now.
I keep saying that one object 'cause I think in the light in the middle, that was a main.
Oh my God, this is crazy. This is the first time I ever look.
So yeah, this is what I'm missing sighting. And then once I kept seeing it doing what it was doing, I thought a certain part you could see
I'm gonna back it
uh
up.
or it moved towards the back of the trees, and I lost sight of it. And that's the main where it went. And when I try to get a better view, that's it. I lost sight of it. I couldn't see it anymore. Like it was. Like I said, I mean, as big as an aircraft, I would say, because but I didn't hear any noise coming from it. But it was pretty, to me. I mean, when I was looking, it looked huge. It looked like to be like big as an aircraft, one of those jumbo aircrafts.
Peter Davenport has like this gauge he uses with people that if you put your arm out at thumb's length, would your thumbnail cover the object or was it bigger than that? With the Phoenix Lights, they were holding out like newspaper, like freaking this. They were like, they were saying it's like a train going by.
Oh no, this is pretty bigger than that. It was bigger than that. It was covering a lot more than.
Okay. Let's go to your next clip here. This one is going to be February. What's the day here? 4th, 2023. So just a couple of years ago. So let's cue this up.
No, just to let you know, it got me something.
Okay, yeah. Now this is what the infrared comes. Yeah, that's what the infrared.
It's shimmering.
This is the Sony camera I'm using.
You can't see it, right?
Yeah, this one seems to be pulsating. Like you could see.
Yeah, right now, bro. It's going into the cloud.
Throwing some kind of pulse.
Oh, that look crazy, bro.
This is one thing I like to do on my videos. I like to use a tripod because it clearly, it's gonna be it tells you
Don't hit that, bro.
this object is some kind of mundane object, just
This thing looks crazy, bro.
trash flying around, or But this one clearly see at a clear path. This thing seemed to be zooming in.
Cool, there's a sighting. I told you, bro. You never know, dude. I'm just glad I'm out here sky watching.
Throwing those pulses, you see that one right there.
Yeah.
And I'm glad I recorded with this with the IR filter because it's very hard to capture these objects just like that without the IR filter. With this IR filter, makes it a lot.
Can you explain? So you're using a Sony camera on night shot. Is that correct?
Yeah, in the daytime.
And then
and
you put on an IR filter, right? We were talking about this. A lot of people don't know about this, but these old cameras that people have, they're good for UFO spotters. You flip them in night vision mode in the daytime, and it's really, really like bright. But what you do is you put on like those IR filters, right?
Yep, it's an IR 950 IR filter that I use, and these objects just seem to pop up. You could clearly see these objects. Just with the naked eye, it's hard for you to spot them. And every now and then you will spot them, but with this IR filter and using the night shot, these things clearly pop out, telling us, wow, where did this come from? But sure enough, this is one of my favorite ways to sky watch. I call it sky fishing now because I just put on the IR filter and just scan the skies, and before you know it, years and start popping up left and right. It is one of my favorite ways to do it. At daytime, this is what I usually go to.
It's pretty high altitude. It's going right over here.
You can see it throughout the video. When I'm zooming in on it, you can see what seems that this object is pulsating. It's not spinning. It's pulsating. It pulses. And I have a couple more videos like this that are doing the same thing. This is right over, like I said, there's a lot of aircraft around here, so I'm surprised.
You have a lot of these type of videos, and whatever that is, a grocery, it looks like it's going a little faster. Grocery bags don't pulsate. Neither do balloons. Very, very, very good capture. It's unusual. The best we can do is always record it until we lose track of it. Contact other people that do this, and then share the video with the public.
Exactly. And hopefully, somebody else has seen this, or they're doing the same thing we are, and, trying to collaborate with each other and find out what these things really are.
It look like something.
And it's kind of,
There's a number of us out there.
I can't really keep it steady.
Here in San Antonio, I haven't really met too many people doing this here in San Antonio, or do the things that I do, that are really committed to being out there 1, 2, or 3 hours and trying to find something out there. I do this because it's my hobby, and I want to find out what is actually flying over San Antonio. And it's like the more I look, it's the more I see out there. And it's very. I'm interested in this stuff. Been interested in this stuff. There's
Yeah,
a
you
lot of
know,
in there.
we didn't know each other, and
You know?
we're both recording the same thing. You know, we're seeing a lot of the same stuff. You recorded this a long time ago, and I've recorded stuff like this. The audience has recorded stuff like this, and there's people out there we don't even know who have recorded the same type of stuff. And eventually, these circles that we run in are kind of small, so we'll probably um, run into these people too. What do you guys think? Classic Pod. Yeah, Mario has a lot of these on his channel. The channel for Mario is up in the description. Put it in the chat. You can put it in the chat too if you want. And I've looked through a number of them. He's got 500 videos on there. Now, a lot of his videos are, I think all of them were shot on tape, right? Even the new ones recently in 2023 are high 8.
Yeah, I go with the old school. I mean, I'm old school with this. I mean, I always go to this. Hopefully in the future I will invest and get me something, something better. But for right now, I don't have the funds to get me anything. So I'm sticking with the 8 right now. And they seem to be working.
Yeah, I know a girl. She watches the channel. Jennifer from Tucson. She uses a Sony TRV like 30 or something like that. I still have mine. I took mine out to Sedona on the last Skywatch. I had a brand new 8mm tape that was still in a package. So it's like 25 years old. Open that up, put it in there. Man, it makes a lot of noise, from the gears. It's old, but still works. And it's still good for using this this IR filter on the date shot, because I have a number of thermal devices. I have a number of night vision. I think I'm up to about 7 now. None of them can do this. You can't put that filter that I know of on a PVS 7. You would have to be completely crazy to take a $4,000 piece of equipment, turn it on in the daytime, and hope it freaking works. I've never heard anybody try it with a PVS 7. A PVS 7 is a real night vision device, and with a nanometer, maybe we're trying. I've got all my filters off of for stuff like this off of eBay, and they're brand new. They're usually like $20-$30, right? Is that where you got yours?
Yep, exactly. I got a few of them from eBay.
Okay, we're going to move now to your December 1st, 2013 sighting. And this is that one that kept playing. It keeps auto playing on me by accident in the background. Now, what we're seeing here is it's like an egg that's in a dead spot, and you got that thing locked down. So I'm going to start rolling the video.
Yeah, no, this one here was very interesting. Like I said, another day of sky watching. I was out there, all of a sudden I spotted this bright light in the sky, and as soon as I, started to zoom in on it, I noticed that it wasn't moving. It wasn't going left or right. It was just hovering. I was lucky enough to, have everything ready. There's times I'm out there and I see these objects, I'm not ready, but this time I was ready for it. I had to have my camera ready, have my tripod ready, and as soon as I started zooming in on it, you could clearly see that this object was just hovering in that one spot. Lucky enough to have this clouds passing right behind it, so it's telling me, this object was hovering right there, and I had the feeling that it was observing me as I was filming it, because it was just there in that one spot. It wasn't going anywhere. You're gonna be able to see the.
An object to pull a hover in a wind needs its own propulsion system. The only thing that could really do something like this would be a kite, but it's gonna move a little bit. A drone could do this, but this kind of predates drones to a degree. It doesn't look like a drone. I mean, when you look at this, this is not a drone. This is one we haven't processed into 4K, but I had a number of your videos working around the clock. Some of them are 4K after this one, but this one wasn't. So yeah, tell us more about how long this lasted. How did it go away?
Okay, yeah, this object right here, like I said, it was just when I first noticed it, it was just hovering right there in that one spot. I'm glad I had the tripod with me ready. This object was there for a while. Like I said, I filmed it close to about 10 minutes, but it's the one, around that one area right there. What got me into, surprise is because once I noticed the clouds going behind it, and this object was clearly hovering. I had people tell me that, yeah, this thing was just, it was either Venus, it was Saturn. But of course, like I tell him, my opinion, it was Saturn, it was Venus. The clouds would obscure it and we would have seen it through the part. And right here, you clearly see that this object was right in front of the clouds. And at certain times, you could see the clouds going through it, or the object there, and the clouds going around it. So it's just very interesting. I'm just glad I captured
I agree.
it.
I've heard of these captures, seen a few of them where they're at a dead stop like this. I haven't got one myself though, so. But yeah, very very interesting how something can hold a dead stop. Now, if this was Venus, it should be not visible or losing visibility as the clouds go by, and we can see the luminosity of the object does not change at all.
I think it was just pure luck from those clouds, go right behind it, right there. Look at that. It's way more. If it was Venus, it would have been, it would kind of obscured it. It wouldn't be able to see it anymore. And right there, it clearly shows that that object was in front of the clouds. It was underneath the clouds. And after a while, I had a feeling that this thing was, like I said, it was observing me as I was observing it. And it was just, in that certain area, and that's doing the same thing I was doing, watching him while I was filming it.
I had those feelings too that you're watching me watch you somehow. You just get that looking over your shoulder feeling, but you get that feeling these are watching us. How did this thing, how did it exit the scene?
That one just, my battery ran out. That's why I stopped filming it. I would have probably kept going and my battery would have, you'll see how long it is. But yeah, no, definitely when battery ran out, this thing just stayed in a certain area right there until I went inside trying to get the battery. By the time I got back outside, it wasn't there no more. So I couldn't tell you if it went left or right, but yeah, it was there, all throughout the whole time. Once I went back inside and came back, it was gone. So this object was just clearly hovering in that area, and that was an amazing feeling when I was looking at it. It's, I was like, wow, look at this thing right there. Once the cloud started going behind it, I was like, yeah, look at that, look at that. Now that's really clearly underneath right there. It seemed that at a certain part, it seemed that that cloud went through it right there. It wasn't as bright as it was, and then again, there it goes, and gets real bright underneath the clouds. So that's clearly telling me that this thing was hovering under the clouds, hovering us.
Now, to play devil's advocate, I'm thinking back. There was one time I did see something like this in 1996, and it was a high altitude NASA weather balloon that was sitting up at 60,000 feet. Okay, so just thinking of like mundane reasons here. That's about all I can come up with. Is this was a NASA weather balloon or something, and you stumbled upon, because these things don't move. When you look at them, they're just kind of parked, and they're at the mercy of the wind, and they're at 60,000 feet. But that said, these clouds are not at 80,000 feet because the clouds are behind the object. So we're not looking at I don't think we're looking at something at 60,000 feet, because these clouds aren't at 60,000 feet. So the clouds kind of gives us a measurement about how high this ceiling of this UAP could be.
Yeah, I agree with you too. I agree with you. That because a lot of these things on. That's another reason I always like to document everything because you never know at the last minute what it could be. We could always use them as a reference point or some other time, finding out that this was a weather balloon or it was some kind of drone something up there. Now we know how a drone looks at that altitude or how a drone looks, and next time we film something, we could able to compare to it to what it was.
That's a good frame of reference, having that tree branch right there, because now you're locked down on a tripod. You can see if it incrementally moves. Stars and all that type of stuff, planets, are going to move to the right. If I have my orientation of this right. You got this perfectly locked down on a tripod. Man, this is how you skywatch. So this is not rookies like the Skywatcher group that Jake has, that they can't tell UAPs from balloons because they're rookies. They just start. I mean, they've admitted they just started like in 2024. So they have to go through all the trials and tribulations of getting tripped up by Venus and grocery bags and Saturn and stuff like that. But looking through your channel, man, you clearly know what the F you're doing.
No, it's through trial and error, my buddy, because like you said, I always wanted to, try to film it as best as I can. And the main thing, it's always using a tripod, keeping the object, in frame so that, at a later time you could analyze, see exactly what it is. Because if the job is going to be jumping left and right, you're going to be moving the camera, you're really going to not know if the object, is either hovering or moving or, what it's doing. And I was lucky enough, for the object to be there and have all these reference points around it. And that's another thing I like to always have. Keep the reference points in front of it, whether it's a cloud, whether it's, telephone poles, whether it's, branches or whatnot. And it helps out after, when you want to analyze it. Just like this video did right here.
It looks like it's egg-shaped compared to like another video we're going to play here in a minute. Looks like the orange disc, and people who watch my channel know what the orange disc is. It's something I captured 2, maybe 3 times in 2025. And you got something that looks like the orange disc that I wasn't aware of until 2025, of just this disc-shaped object that goes by the camera, and you got it going through the clouds. So that is going to be the next piece that I'm queuing up, and that is now running. So tell us about that big orange disc.
Okay, if I'm mistaken, that's the one that was
as much as I can.
Yeah, I got a couple of them. I'm trying to remember which one you're talking about. Oh,
that's a big orange disc.
Oh, okay, yeah, no, this is one of my first sightings. Back in 05. This one was the one that that really got me into wanting to go out there and see everything. I would always see them all the time, but never as close as this one, because of now with the way you put it in, upscale in 4K, you clearly see this object is clearly no aircraft. This object is no balloon. This object is clearly unknown, and I couldn't believe what I was seeing. In the original video, you could hear me saying, this isn't a balloon, this is no aircraft, and this thing was it was pretty huge to the naked eye. It was, it looked big, but once I started, filming it, you clearly see this object was going at a steady pace. It was, it was going at the same altitude. It was it was going against the wind, so it was clearly under some kind of control, being controlled by somebody, wherever it was. I mean, they had the technology to do this back in the day, 205. That's why, I mean, I don't know if it was a drone. Could have been. I mean, who knows? But look at the drone.
There we go.
Yeah, no, we gotta capture this one too. I said, This time I wasn't ready. I didn't have the tripod ready, so this was just freehand. And I tried my best I could. You could see I jumping all over the place, trying to keep some reference points in there. It was the clouds, and lucky enough, I went by this the tree branches that were up there, and that's another thing. I always try to do the best as I can because later on we could determine what it was.
We can see structure on this. I mean, this is not a plane. There's no wings. There's no tail. And I was looking at this earlier. If you study this closely, some parts of it, instead of just heading to the right, it goes up. Other times, it goes a little bit down.
Yeah, we could you like I said, to me, I couldn't see that when I was filming it. It was jumping too much. But when you use of course when you zoom in, the object it's harder for keep it in frame. And right here, that's when I lost sight of it. When I went to the
Okay.
cloud.
Okay. Okay. Next one. We're going to go to the Silver Surfer type video. This is one that I was blowing up in 4K last night, but something corrupted. So we're going to go with just the regular resolution on it. This looks kind of like a flying humanoid. I don't know what this is. This is either balloons or any shy. So it's queued up. It's playing.
I was lucky enough to capture this thing. This one was pretty far off in the distance. You're gonna be able to see us when I zoom in. It's clearly, it wasn't no aircraft, it wasn't no balloon, it was no bird. At first, when I looked at it, I was like, "What's this?" An L shape. And when I zoom in on it, it looked like like this thing was standing on something, whatever it was. And a portion of the video, you could see where this thing like it turns around, but it never loses altitude. It keeps going in a the straight line. Uh, I really don't know what this thing is, but I'm glad I captured it. You could see it was pretty far off in the distance because I'm trying to zoom in on it as much as I can, and that's top of it right there.
Yeah.
It's the top of a
I
transformer.
see like a black line, and then there's something almost looks like a person that's in red with like a green head. I can't wait to blow this thing up and stabilize that one too. I mean, you just got a gold mine full of footage. Some of it recent, some of it from way back. Good job.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, I was lucky enough to see this one too. I mean, I really couldn't tell you what it is, but okay, now you're gonna be able to see the raw footage when coming the way whatever this thing was. It was pretty high in the altitude. See some birds, you saw some birds flying by it right there. This thing was just right there, and when it passed by the clouds, you could clearly see that this thing it's not bobbing up and down. It's clearly in a stable position, constant speed, same altitude. Another one being controlled.
Is it possible this is just like 50 balloons tied together in a string? I see them in arches sometimes around apartment complexes. I did film something, I think I showed it about a month ago. It's pretty shitty footage. But I filmed something in 97 that was L-shaped. And I looked up at it with binoculars, and it looked, to me, I thought maybe this is like a bunch of, like dozens of balloons tied together in a line. But I never did nothing with it because the video was pretty bad. But I don't know. I mean, we always got to look at rule out what's mundane first and see what's left after we do that. And
No,
yeah, you could always say crazy ass configuration of balloons, but I don't know. This is an absolutely unusual object. It's not a typical balloon. If it's a balloon, it's like in today's value about $100 worth of balloons up there.
No, I agree with you. I agree with you because reality, we don't know what these objects really are. I mean, we really don't know what this object is. All I know is that the thing was way up there, flying at a certain altitude. Like a controlled, seemed to be a controlled manner. It wasn't, it didn't seem to be flying by the wind. It was seemed to be a controlled manner. That's another reason, it freaked out on me because I was like, this thing seemed to be controlled. It didn't seem to be, going with the wind. And of course, you don't see it bobbing left and right, left and right. This thing's
Yeah.
seem to be controlled.
Yeah, you're right, because the black portion of whatever this is stable, and the thing does not tumble end over end. So balloons usually, when they have a string on the bottom of them, that kind of keeps them upright, because that just a little bit of that weight from the string when they twist and kind of swim, it recorrects because the string. Suddenly a lot of strings in that. If that was a black configuration of balloons there.
Yeah.
And that wasn't the only time you filmed stuff like that. You filmed a lot of hockey pucks.
Yeah. Okay.
Dan here is asking if you are retired military.
No, buddy. Never been in the military.
Never been in the military. Okay. I don't think the right angle is stable. Hey, Larry, how you doing? Strange shape. Interesting. Gobson said one of them looks like a string. I'm messing with the echoes. We got a lot of shit going on here since we're moving around back and forth with studio configuration. I'm usually doing this solo. So, like I said, a couple might be a shit show till I get the audio down. I think I got your echo isolated and off. Okay. Now let's see what's next up. Next up, we're going to go into, let's switch it up a little bit. Let's go to a hockey puck. A lot of this footage, I think about 6 of these videos I was able to convert into 4K. Now, what that was from his YouTube stream. What I want to do is get the originals, Mario, and then put those in, because when everybody knows you upload to YouTube, you download, you don't have the same, you're losing quality loss there. And then some of his videos were uploaded like 15 years ago. So God knows what they, because they have different codecs today than they did back then. So we're going to look at a hockey puck. I call them hockey pucks, but I think this is the one that's rotating. I'm going to start the clip now.
Yeah, it's a bummer what YouTube does on those videos. It converts them into a lower quality than what they are.
This thing is rotating.
Okay, yeah. Now I remember this one right here. This one right here it wasn't on a tripod. If you could see the difference with having it on a tripod and having it on a just freehand. But I was lucky enough to capture it as it was going ahead. I always try to, because I always try to keep them in a reference point. If it's not a cloud, it's gonna have to be, try to put some anything a reference point. If you put on the tripod, if I have the tripod, it's a big difference. A big difference in it. But this one here is clearly a high altitude. This one was traveling at a southwestern direction, and yeah, this one seemed to be rotating. But what a difference in the 4K that it looked like. That's why I always try to have my camera handy because you never know.
Yeah, and you're not filming this with a phone in your back pocket. You got to haul something around. I mean, this is a decent sized camera.
Yeah, there's times when I'm out there just sitting for 20, 30, 40 minutes and I don't see anything. And there's other times when I just walk out the door and happen to be sitting a minute or 2 minutes, look up and I see something and I'm not ready. And this is, the results of it are shaky footage. But needless to say, I still was able to capture it. I was lucky enough to have it, have some reference points as it goes cloud.
Yeah. Without a reference point, with just the blue sky, it kind of sucks. And you deal with a lot of weather we do because we're in the Southwest, or you're in the direct South, and yeah, it doesn't rain here a lot. Don't have a lot of clouds here. How did this one disappear?
I lost sight of it right there. Once it go to the clouds, I couldn't see it no more.
Okay.
That's a bummer too. When I have it in view, I'm thinking, I want to keep, try to keep, track them as best as I can. And a lot of times, I just lose sight of them once they go into the cloud. They either go into the thick cloud and I lose sight of them, and they never come out the other end, which is this is bad for me.
Yeah, I had that happen too. I got a video where it flew into the cloud, stopped. I expected it to come out the other end, and it didn't. So, yeah, Mario has a lot of captures. Yeah, he has some stuff like that. Let me get to the next video. The next video will be 11 days later. He captured it again. On October 13, 2022 is now rolling.
Yep, that was another day. Like I said, sometimes they'll be out there and I don't see anything. And there's days that that are constantly in the same month that I keep seeing them over and over in the same general area. That's why I've always, once I just like I find a spot and I keep to that spot, and sure enough, it's like I hit the jackpot, and sure enough, that's why they keep appearing. I keep seeing them over and over. This will look pretty interesting. We're pretty, it was a lost track of it pretty fast, but I don't know. You saw at a certain point where it seemed to be spinning, and then some kind of seemed to be coming out from there.
I see like a slow rotation counterclockwise.
Yeah, that's another reason I was like, very interested on some of these objects that I don't know what they're really, trying to send a signal towards I am at, or if they're just, doing their thing. But just glad I kept.
Another question here. How far are you away from a military base with these?
Matter of fact,
Sorry.
Yeah, I'm right in the not right in the middle, but I'm a pretty, as you know, San Antonio is it was called a military city base because we got Lackland Air Force Base, we got Fort Sam Houston, we got back here in the back where I'm at, a couple of miles away, we got what's it called uh Lackland Air Force Base, Fort Sam Houston. I forgot. There's another one right behind me, right here. And that's one of the things. Sometimes I think that these objects, they either are observing, to keep an eye on the military bases. Because we know we have a couple of military bases here in San Antonio.
How about airport?
Oh, that one. I'm about 4 miles away from the airport. 4 or 5 miles away from the airport, and that's pretty busy. That's another reason, I'm always keeping an eye on because I always see these aircraft.
Well,
Like,
clearly, what we've seen so far wasn't military. It doesn't look like anything the military has. The military doesn't have orange discs, hockey pucks. He got just a wide variety. Let's move on to September 18th, 2022. So these are fairly new captures because it seems like when the gimbal video came out, that was just a year or two ago, and that's like almost like 9 years back. And yeah, before we know it, we'll be in 2030. So I'm rolling this video. I think this is one with the acceleration. There's a lot of videos, so I got to get them all straightened out.
Yeah, I'm very fortunate to have seen all these objects and having the camera, in hand. Because if I was like I said, before, I would just see these objects and not even been able to film them. So nobody's gonna really believe me by telling me, no, hey, I saw this object going into the cloud, and we said, yeah, whatever, what have you been smoking, drunk or what? But as you could see this object right here, or we could clearly see this object. It was at high altitude. We had some reference points, the clouds were reference points. And this one right here, you could tell the big difference of having a tripod and not having a tripod. This object right here, you could see it shaking left and right. You really can't see the steady path it was taking. This
I
was
can
at a great.
stabilize the clouds, and we can look at it a couple different ways on a future episode.
Yeah, I wish I had that software too, so I could do. I would have done it myself before uploading some of these videos.
Some of the stuff is free. Some of the stuff isn't. Like Kinovia is free. DaVinci Resolve has a free version out that you can use. Does a lot of good stuff. And then some of the stuff I bought is software I own, I bought. And then some of the other stuff I got to rent every month. So yeah, interesting object. Going through your page. I mean, you got a few I go look at and go, okay, maybe this is a balloon. And everybody has that. You have 500 captures on your YouTube channel. Statistically, 95% of the stuff is not UFO. It can be explained. So if you got 100 captures that you have a pretty good idea these aren't balloons, then about 5 of them are UFOs out of that, right? And you got 500 uploads, so that would be somewhere out of this huge vault you got is at least 25 UFOs, and that is really fucking good for anybody to have. I mean, even having one really good, there you see the object stopped, and it's going down, it's changing direction. Anybody who has one good UFO is great, but 24, Jesus.
I always believed, that the more you look up, the more you're gonna see. If you just, you just go day by day, don't even bother looking up, you're never gonna see these objects up there. But if you take the time to, look up and, every now and then, if you're lucky enough to see it and film it, you get bit by the bug and you want to see more and more and more. And sure enough, you will see more because they're up there. I think
I
these objects are up there.
Yeah, I mentioned before that I'm an addict and I'm a UFO addict, and I spend more money on gear than people spend on cocaine, and I need to just find some UFO club that says I'm addicted and help me stop spending money on this. I spent more money this year on UFOs than people do on their rent. I'm not, and I talked to Dave Mason. He spent more than me, and I just say, hey, that's money the nursing home isn't going to get. Because that's where my money would go when I'm old, to a nursing home. Instead, I'll die on the sidewalk with a camera in my hand, filming some shit. So that was a great capture. They did a good job.
There's sometimes when I'm out there, to just sitting around, just sky watching. Sometimes I think they either pick up on my vibe, want to see them, or they pick up my, sometimes I heard that sometimes they pick up on your frequency that you want to see them and they appear. I mean, I don't know if that's the case. I know I've heard about people that say that they could command UFOs that to make them appear. But I don't really believe that because I never met anybody that really done that. But sometimes I think that I'll be thinking about it, and then I get the urge to go outside, and sure enough, 20, 30 minutes later, they're up there, and I document it.
Now, this happened to me before, that I do this so much that I would have reoccurring dreams about this. I'd have reoccurring dreams of filming UFOs all the time. And these dreams are always, the footage is 5,000 times better than what we actually capture. And one morning I went out in August, and we don't remember, like a lot of us don't remember your kids' birthdays, wedding anniversaries and shit. But you remember the days you captured UFOs. Like Al Bundy remembers those 3 touchdowns in football. I had to have these dreams. I go outside and there it is, just like the dream. Do you ever have dreams about this stuff?
Every now and then I do. I had a very vivid dream that that I don't know if it was real or not, but I was dreamt that that I was seeing one appear out of nowhere. It came and zoomed in on me, and then before I knew it, I was right underneath it. One thing led to another. I went inside the craft, and it seemed so real.
Question from Uncle Dave's Kitchen. Do they fly in any particular direction, north, south, east, west? Ever see them landing or rising up towards space? Where do they go when you gotta get out of sight? I think Mario's connection lost there. He'll be back here in a second.
Yeah. No, matter of fact, no, I see him going every direction. I see him going north, south, east. It depends. I know they don't do, and yeah, I seen some of them that seem to rise up, and I seen some of them that seem to come down. I always liked. I try to film a couple of them that seem to to come down, and I was descend, and some of them some footage that does seem to show that same pattern, descending behind the trees. But of course, they're very far. They're not too close. Those are very far, and I really don't know what area that is. But I never had the chance to.
I have your YouTube channel up. It looks like your first upload here was February the 4th, 2006. So that's right around when YouTube launched. It was a lot different than it is now. So that just shows you've been at this, old school. You didn't just jump on the bandwagon when the gimbal video came out. You've been hitting this hard for at least 19 documented years. You have 513 uploads. You got more subscribers than me, and you're doing one hell of a good fucking job. Jeez, man. We need to like clone you and then put you in every city there is. And I mean, just the amount. I mean, he's got, and when you started this, you got I don't know if I haven't even looked at this video, a flying humanoid looking thing. That was before flying humanoids got on the UFOs radar. And they're not on UFOs radar. I'm trying to put them on UFOs radar because most people don't know about them. Yeah. It's almost. I haven't. Man, I need to go over your channel like Quincy would go over a dead body. You got stuff on here that looks like multiple flying humanoids. We looked at the and then this one here. Maybe we'll look at that here in a second. This weird thing pulsing with light. That was one. The Tedesco brothers. They have a match I saw on one of their podcasts of this same thing, which looks like just a cube of light in the sky. Can you tell us about that while I cue this up?
Which is that one right there? The one in
the date on that's going to be August 29th, 2013. Yeah. See, these just like I know the dates in my sightings, but the wife would ask, "Hey, what when's our wedding anniversary?" Shit, I don't know. I know the month, the day. I mean, they know the first time that you held hands and shit. So let's. Is this the? Yeah, this video is just off the chain. I don't know what this is, but it's queued up, and here we go with the August 29th, 2013 sighting. It's strobing. I was hoping to have a 4K blow up of this, but that was the one that corrupted. Probably in another episode. I want to see what this thing looked like closer. Really, and then I'm gonna hunt down that Tedesco brother video that the police officer shot and gave him, and it looks just like this. But wow, it would be great to do a split screen of the police officer's video from New Jersey and then this thing. Was it? Was it? Looks like it's going down slowly. Good job on the tripod. And then you also, good job of it's there. You take a risk every time you zoom out on a UFO, because when you zoom in, you might not get it again. And you got a ground reference to say, here's where I'm at. Here's the location. This is the ground. This thing is above ground. This isn't a toy laying on the ground I zoomed in on. This is in the sky. Again, good job. I'm at a complete loss of what a prosaic explanation for this is. It's strange. How did this leave? How did it take off or end? Absolutely great capture you got there. And you know,
Yeah.
no matter what it is, you have a consistent thing. You film it until you can't see it anymore. You have it centered real good. You use a tripod. I really can't offer any advice. Maybe you can give me some. I mean, you're great. The hardest part is spotting these damn things. It is, because that you got to find them first. If you can't find them, you're dead in the water, man.
No, that's what I'm saying. I mean, it's always, you always have to be constant at it, especially if you're interested in it, to be constant at it, keep looking out for it, because when you least expect it, you're going to see it. And I always try to be ready. I always try to have my camera ready, have my, have a full battery, have my tripod ready, handy, because you never know. You don't want to be out there, filming something, and you either, like it happened before, I have instances before where I'm filming that object and I'm thinking, oh, this is an interesting sighting, and then I never hit the record button. So it's happened to me before.
Yeah, when I was doing the Phoenix Lights shooting at that night, there were two other people with me, Bill Hamilton and Steve Blonder, and they said Bill said his batteries died, and Steve's batteries died because he depleted them using them filming stuff before we arrived. But you'd have to go find your charging cable, plug it in, get an extension cord. Bill claimed the UFOs knocked out his camera. I'm like, no, dude, those were flares, and they were 35 miles away. They couldn't have knocked out your camera. Come on, sometimes just say, I goofed. I didn't charge it before I went over to the witness's house. So yeah, that's
happens.
Question: have you ever captured on camera instant acceleration?
Yeah, I had a couple of videos on there. Hopefully, another time we could show them. Or it shows our object, try to either hovering and then take off. I got a few videos that are like that.
Bro, look at that. Look there. They see you again with this camera. I don't know what's that. That's that let it go. Right there. Let me see. Yeah, it's right there. It's right there. I'm trying to see. I'll try to get it with this camera. It's right there in that area. There it is. I caught it with this other camera. Cool, I caught it. Oh man, I used the other camera for this like reference point. Look at that. It keeps turning off and then it turns off. See, there it goes. I barely see it, right? I caught it, but now I lost it. I don't see it now.
Thinking your audio might have died. I mean, I'm trying to restore it.
But I lost it now.
From the video.
No, I don't see it now.
Another strange capture there. What do you think of that? Let's see. I think audio. So let's move over to this. Is your audio working good?
Let me know.
Yeah, you're good. All right. I just seen it drop, but let's see.
Yeah, no, I see myself over here. It seems to be working on my end.
Okay. Can you tell Truth Seeker what kind of camera you're using? Is it one of those two behind you?
Yeah, matter of fact, I use two of them. It's a Sony, one of the old school Sonys.
Fucking A.
It's old school, and it's pretty heavy, but you know it works. I mean, I'm using an IR filter. You can see it.
Okay. Yep. So yeah, you just screw that on the front. I believe those are 29 millimeter from memory because I got a lot of those. Yeah. So we even remember the thread size of a camera. I hope my wife isn't watching. But when was our anniversary and shit? June. Like sometime around. What's the other one? Is that your JVC?
Yeah, this is the JVC, the one I told you. It's more or less it's a
Okay. Like
little
All right, I'm charging one of my batteries. Because my audio is dying. Okay. Let's keep going before I end up with no audio at all. Let's look at the white cross, and that will. Yeah, let's check out that white cross video now.
Cool, look at that.
Have you ever had Men in Black knock on your door? This is like the opposite of what I filmed. A black cross, you filmed a white cross. It's almost like the inversion of what I filmed. And I just thought I filmed, just a pack of balloons. That's not one. What you're filming here isn't like a bunch of balloons tied together. That's like one shape. And you lost it.
It looked like it was changing shape for some time right there. That's when I was, freaking. Like I said, I'm glad I haven't.
All right. Yeah. Somebody was asking what type of lens you use or zoom. I use this thing we call the bat, and that's if I'm filming in tape, which isn't often. And it has this 5-power zoom. So you put this on a 20-power optical camera, you have 100 power. This is what I used to film Bubba, that UFO from the 2000s. So what's your max zoom that you use? Mine was 80, I think. Oh, 360? That's huge. Yeah.
More light at night, for the a night shot, which it helps out a little bit, not that much, but it still works better than I have it. But yeah, these cameras are handy. They come in handy compared to they're not as good as the ones that they are now. But hopefully in a couple of more, in the future, I'm gonna get me something with better high definition than these cameras. But for right now, they're doing the job. They've been doing it for a couple of years, and
it's real hard to fake on tape. I mean, you fake stuff in low resolution of mud. It's pretty difficult. It's a lot easier if you're going to do it in HD or 4K. Using tools, but clearly, you don't have that stuff. You don't have all the high-tech bullshit that I have that's constantly running behind something, repairing it, always looking for what's not working. So there's no way that you digitally faked 513 videos. Impressive collection for anybody. I don't even think I have that many captures. This is just the stuff that you have on your channel. You did one hell of a good job. That's I don't know what else I can say. I mean, this is make sure anybody watching that you subscribe to his channel, hit the bell for all notifications, so when he does another upload, you can see it. And it's expensive because you have to buy tapes off eBay, and it's not like SD cards. Once you buy them, you just keep using them forever until you lose one of them. So that was that kind of wraps up what the media. I think we showed about 12 different pieces of UFO footage. The investigation on this is going to continue. I'm going to keep looking into your videos as we go. I want to have you back soon, hopefully before the end of this year, and then go over a whole another batch of stuff that's and some of these need to be stabilized and look into more carefully too. And you got some stuff that takes off too, so we want to highlight that. So tonight we showed a couple of different pieces of night footage. That first one that was on the news looked very large. You filmed multiple hockey pucks. You keep things dead center. You use a tripod. You use dual camera, multiple cameras. You alert others in the media if you have to. The stigma, must have kryptonite like me, fuck the stigma. It didn't affect us. We just come out and tell it the way it is. So you got the floor. What do you want to say to kind of close us out?
Well, first of all, thanks a lot for inviting me. To let me show some of my footage, and just to let you know, we spoke earlier and yesterday about it, that there's a lot more footage that I'm calling it. I call the UFO vault. I got tons of footage that I haven't released yet, that I haven't uploaded yet. Then if for anybody out there that's interested, I'm gonna be uploading that one a little bit as it comes. I got a lot of videos that need to be studied, and thanks to you, you're upscaling them to 4K, which is definitely going to hopefully show exactly what we're seeing over this area. And thanks to everybody out there for looking at my footage, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah, I mean, you have this footage, and it's been sitting around for years and years and years, and you probably thought no one gives a shit. I give a shit. People I work with give a shit. And we're going to take your best stuff, and I'm going to upscale all of it into 4K. I'm going to stabilize all the stuff that needs it. We're going to look at it. This audience will see it. It'll go back to you, of course, before we review any of it. And I don't charge nobody nothing. I've got $20,000 worth of computers here. And they're sitting around. They're not buying in Bitcoin anymore. You can't do that. They only make 50 cents a day. It costs 60 cents for the electricity. So they're mining UFOs. I'm going to put this investment back to work for the audience. So if you need stuff upscaled and you're not going to pay Topaz $400 or $500 for the software or license it for $100 a month, I own it, right? So you send it over to me. I can fix your audio. I can take out buzzing in your audio. I can use AI on it. I can blow this stuff up. It's amazing that we captured a lot of this stuff a long, long time ago, and then we waited, and technology caught up, and now we can do stuff we couldn't dream of back in the 2000s, stabilizing videos that you were shot by hand, fixing the audio, tracking the path, knowing that there's other people across the planet that are taping the exact same thing that you are, and you have a great variety of captures. You're one of the best fucking skywatchers I've ran into, and I've met about 100 of them.
Thanks. Appreciate that, man. Comes with time, dedication.
Yeah. And you got stamina, man. You're going on like at least 20 years of documentation with this, and I know you've had some rough trials in your life. You talked to me about the heart attack you had, and then it's a kick in the stomach. You survived, thank God. And then we just forge ahead. I had a year ago, I was so fucking fat it was about to explode. My skin was falling off. I couldn't walk because my feet were bleeding, and I had a complete turnaround. And when I did, I said, you know what? Now that I got my health back, I'm going to do everything I can to push out the information that I've saved UFO-wise, and I'm going to help everybody I can until I run out of gas and get so fat I almost explode again. So I'm here to work for you guys. I'm very happy that Mario Vallejo came on the channel. He's welcome back anytime. If he wants to chime in on future episodes after this, there's always UFOs on this channel. I'm Tom King. This was episode 40 of 4K Skywatching. Make sure you go to Mario's channel and subscribe to that and give him a like. Give this channel a like and subscribe. If you want to support the channel, you can join it for $3 a month. You get access to member inside videos. It helps put gas in the tank. Now, tomorrow morning, just as a reminder, at 8 o'clock, the helicopter lifts off. I have this somewhere around here. I got this brand new 8K 360 camera that we're going to take with us. I have this 4K cinema camera that shot this background. Last Wednesday night, I was up on South Mountain skywatching for a couple of hours, and I shot this video with this camera. And then I brought this monster with. Now, this might go in the helicopter too. We really don't need it because you don't need a zoom lens in a helicopter. So after the helicopter lens, I got some stuff to do. Then, I don't know, maybe eat some mushrooms and go check out The Exorcist and have a good time. It's a hell of a comedy for people who like horror movies like me and my wife. We just watched that show Trick or Treat, or that movie, Tuesday night. So we're cinema fans. So yeah, he has a 360 power zoom. This is what people strive to be. A man like this, a father, family man who's got his shit together, and he's a goddamn good skywatcher. I'm glad he reached out and came on 4K Skywatching. He's here to share videos with all of us. It's already shot in the can. Why not look into it more? Ufology's kind of dead in the water. There's no more hearings for at least another several months. There's no UAP whistleblower act. There's just a bunch of clowns fighting each other on Twitter. But you can make a difference. You can go out and skywatch. One of you guys watching this tonight, probably within the next month, will have your own sighting. So I'm Tom King. This is 4K Skywatching, and I appreciate all of you being here. And we'll see you next Friday on 4K Skywatching.